Hi everyone, good afternoon. Warm welcome to each and every one of you who have joined on time and before time. So we'll be starting the session in another 5 more minutes at sharp 4 p.m. Meanwhile, those who have joined who can settle down. Also, let me know if you can able to hear me and see me. Is my voice audible? Do let me know in the chat. If my video is visible and also if you can able to hear me very clearly, do comment in the chat. So I can see Simran was commented. Hi Simran. I request everybody to comment in the chat if you can able to hear me and see me. Okay, we're getting the confirmation from Shweta is saying yes. Thank you, Shweta. Good afternoon, Rajesh. So in next few more minutes, we'll be starting the session. I'm really glad to see so many of you had joined before time. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, I request all the participants who have joined for today's session would like to understand about which location you have joined from in India, which city or state you belong to, and also which profession, so that we know exactly and clearly. So do comment in the chat. You just have to type your location and what's your current profession. So I see we have Shrishti from Gurgaon, Rajiv from Thane, and also do let me know your profession. We have Khatija who is working as a HR manager. Glad to know that. So along with your city or state, do mention your profession as well. What exactly you're currently doing. We have Sriji, who is a career counselor from Chennai. Hi, Sriji. Glad to know. We have Rajesh, who's from Gurgaon, Haryana. We have Aparna, who's from Ahmedabad, who's a HR manager. Glad to know, as many of them are from the HR domain. We have Firoza, who's Firoza Shaheen, who's from Karnataka, Gulbarga, who's science faculty. We have Hemlata, who is a career counselor from Chennai. I can see many of them are even career counselors. We have Sachi, we have Neeraj, we have Satya. So thank you for joining before time. Really glad to see all of you here. We have also Meenakshi, who has joined with us from Delhi, who is an image consultant, soft skills trainer. Thank you, Meenakshi. So I would like to thank each and every one of you who have joined us before time and on time. I really appreciate your time. So today's session, we are here about to launch our certified professional competency analyst mega webinar, wherein we have invited key speakers who is Ms. Jailakshmi Desai. She'll be giving more insights about the complete system of competency analyst and Also, following which we'll have Mr. Ankit, who is the co-founder and product director, who will be joining with us. He will be showing the demonstration of the platform. So here are the quick reminders and instructions that I would like to communicate to every one of you who are present here. So you can use the chat box to communicate. If you have any questions or any doubts, please put forward in the chat. So we'll have a dedicated person who is monitoring the chat, and we'll make sure all your questions will be answered at the end. So we'll have a live Q&A too. If you are actually on the mobile phone, double tap on the screen to make it full screen, or tilt it so that you have a better viewing experience. And at the end, we'll have an exciting announcement. So stay tuned till the end. Thank you. So before we get into the details about the program, what all things we cover and offer, let us understand about the Edu milestones first. So I'd like to brief you about the forte of Edu milestones journey for last 14 years. So far, we have trained 5,000 plus career counselors, and we are currently catering to 180 cities in India, and globally 45 countries we are catering to, and soon we are expanding our footprints beyond 45 countries. We have won various prestigious awards like Asian Education Awards a few months back. We have also got the as a Career Counseling Planning Award, Best Career Counseling Planning Award. We have also got the one more award, that is the World's Brand Affairs Award. So I'm really proud to share this information with all of you. So this is the 2 times Edu milestones we've been highlighted in the news. These are the awards, and we have featured in news in multiple news letters. And here we have 5,000 plus partners, that is spanning in 45 countries. Soon we are looking to expand our footprints beyond 45 countries as well. So now I would like to call upon and introduce our key speaker today, who is Miss Jayalakshmi. Just to brief you about her background, she is an gold medalist industrial psychologist, and she's also the CPCA trainer and competency analyst. She will be sharing her insights and learnings on competency frameworks, cases, and best practices, how it can be leveraged in the corporate setup and why it is important. So over to you, Jayalakshmi. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Azim, for that kind introduction. So firstly, it's really great to see all of you here today for today's webinar. I welcome you all. And I know that you don't have access to unmute and speak, but I want to keep this session very engaging. And to do that, I will run a poll or sometimes ask questions. So we want it to be more of a knowledge sharing session. So please feel free to use the chat box to share your insights. So to give a little bit more context about my background, I come from the experience of learning and development and psychology. That's because I, as a person, I'm really interested and fascinated to study how human behavior works. So over the course of time and through my experience, I have worked in different organizations, and I'm also currently consulting few firms and independent consultants to implement competency frameworks in their organization. So that's a little bit about me. So to get started, without further ado, let's start with a proper poll. Okay, like now I would like to ask you As an HR and as a L&D consultant or an expert, if you're working with people, right, human behavior is really tricky, right? So when we're talking in specifically in terms of hiring, so if you've been in the shoe of a recruiter, I'm sure you would agree that hiring is really a taxing job to do, right? And given the advent of technology and the role of AI, the resumes that we see have become so impressive. Like when you look at a resume, you feel like this person could be the best match for this role, right? And most of the resumes look so impressive and so good. Now, the question here is, does a resume, promising resume, which is really impressive, mean that a person is the best fit for that role? What do you think? Do you think resumes actually reflect the behavior or the skills of the candidate? Can you share your opinion in the chat box? Having said that, there are some people who think that resumes actually reflect that, a candidate is a right match. But on the contrary, some people feel that resumes don't really give us a complete picture or the story about the candidate, right? Yeah, I can see a lot of people saying no. Mr. Raghav says no, resume doesn't give a complete picture. Yeah, we need to know more. Meenakshi says we need to know more. And Mr. Krishna says not exactly, especially after ChatGPT became popular. I think we all agree in terms of the role of AI, right? Yes, and Mr. Neeraj says that it's good for preliminary screening. That's a valid point. I mean, it gives you some input in terms of what you can expect in the interview, right? Like if we can screen this particular candidate for the next round. Yes, and Miss Aparna says just 20% and sometimes not at all. Yes, and Madhumita says, no, there are other aspects we need to look for. So yes, also one interesting point here, Ms. Seema made, that it's a reflection of one's personality if it's genuine. Now, this is a key aspect. Now, how do we know, right? How can we assess the personality through a resume? That's something we'll explore today. That's a great point. And now, I would like to ask you a question. When you as an HR are looking to hire, right, you do filter out different resumes. So what is the first thing that you look at in the resume? What are the key aspects that you look at in a resume? So the question will be posted as a poll. You will have options. You can click based on the options given and share your insights. So the poll is out there. You can read the question and share your answers. Okay, what are the key aspects that you look for in a resume? So I'm getting some responses. The options are A, skills, B, knowledge, C, personality and behavior, D, work experience, and last option is all of the above. So most of the responses are all of the above. 76% of people in this group feel that all these are key elements, right? It's just not skill, it's just not knowledge, it's just not personality or behavior or work experience, right? It's all combined together makes a candidate or an employee a good performer. So we all agree on that, right? So, and I'm sure this is one of the first steps that we undertake when we are hiring, right? And like I said, I would just like to re-emphasize on this aspect of the way AI has changed the dynamics of hiring. Now, people have moved from being just a traditional HR. We need to move from being practicing traditional practices to add some strategy in terms of your operations, right? So there are certain problem statements that as an HR professional or as an L&D consultant, all of you face, right? Because we're dealing with humans again, right? It's complex to understand, hire the best talent. After hiring, how do we develop, right? There's so many key aspects. So the next few minutes, let's look at some of the key scenarios that through my experience have identified. And I'm sure some of you would agree to some of these scenarios. Now let's look at this scenario one. So in this scenario one, you can see that when you're hiring, right, most of us emphasize in terms of skill set, right? Resumes talk about skill set, right? They talk about knowledge and experience. So what if I tell you, like there's a requirement for, let's say, sales manager role or sales profile, and you're looking at hiring the best salesperson who has great negotiation skills, great communication, and comes from the right industry that you are functioning in, right? So you have done all these criteria, assessments, and then you hire the candidate who has high skills, right? But the bottleneck here is, despite of all of this scrutiny and checks and interviewing, still the person is not performing. The performance is really low. So why do you think this could happen, or this happens in organizations, right? Even though they are highly skilled, right? But still the performance is not up to the mark. What are your thoughts? Can you share your insights in the chat box? Here we're looking at a sales role where the person is really highly skilled, right? They are good at communication. They have relevant sales background, work experience, but even then they're not performing. What could be the reason? You can take a minute, think about it, and share your response. Yes, I've got a response. Mr. Krishna says, is this person fitting to my business goal? Okay. Yes, there's Ms. Supriya says that motivation is missing. There's low motivation. That's right. It could be many factors like lack of attention. Ms. Purna says lacking potential and required training. Yes, I'm getting a lot of responses. Mr. Rajesh says low commitment level and approach. And most of you are saying it's basically related to low motivation, right? No, not having the right will to perform, or not having the right passion, right? Yeah, lack of. Shrija says lack of motivation or interest. Yes. So that's precisely right, right? A person may be highly skilled, right? We all know through our experience there are a lot of people who are really skilled. They have great experience and they come from that particular field, but a lot of times they're not able to perform, right? And interest plays a key role, right? So this is a classic recruitment or hiring problem, which a lot of recruiters face, where after hiring, after 3 to 6 months, they see that the candidate looked so promising, but still they are not performing. And that's because one of the key factor here is low interest, low motivation to do the job, right? So to illustrate more and emphasize more on this problem that organizations are facing these days, let's look at this image here, right? So you would ask me, what's a bicycle got to do with hiring problem, right? But it's just to understand and break it down in terms of, if you have to think, right, when you're looking at a bicycle here, what you see is it's completely highly powered. It can function really well. But what is the bottleneck here, right? When we look at this image, it has all the ability to perform, to run as a bicycle, it's functional. It has all the mechanics that's working perfectly fine. But the problem here is it's not being used, right? It's on a standstill. It has no intent. It has no interest, right? That's why there's no performance. So it doesn't mean that the bicycle is in a bad condition. The bicycle works perfectly fine, but the interest, right? It's not being used, right? So there's no performance that's coming out here. If similarly we look at in similar context when we're talking about hiring problem or people-centric roles, what are we looking at? If people may have the necessary skill set, but if they don't have that drive, right, that passion, and if they're not connected in terms of the interest, then definitely performance will be mediocre, right? We agree on that. So this was scenario one, right? Here we looked at somebody whom we've hired, who is high on a particular skill set, but low on interest. Now, what if I tell you, I'll flip the scenario, I'll flip the situation here. Now, because we identified that sometimes focusing on skill does not necessarily lead to hiring somebody who's a good performer, right? So let's switch the strategy here. Let's look at hiring somebody with high interest. Let's focus on interest, right? Maybe that could change the game. If we hire somebody with high interest, but still they're not performing, what could be the reason? Now the situation has flipped, right? We've hired somebody with high interest, but still their performance is not great. So you can take a minute here and think what could be the reason. Okay, Mr. Rajesh says that atmosphere of company may be toxic. Okay, that's one of the reasons. What could be the other issue? Procrastination, behavioral issues. Okay. Yeah, Shrija says that lack of skill needed for the particular job role, not skilled enough, right? So in this situation, we have looked at somebody who is high on interest, like you all mentioned, low on skills, definitely leads to low performance, right? And this is another problem that is very central to learning and development, right? Sometimes we see this in entry-level roles or freshers who are really passionate to learn the job, right? They want to make their career in that particular profession. So the interest is not questionable here. They'll perform really well. But the problem could be here, they might be low on their skill set. As they're just fresh out of their college, they may not be ready in terms of the practicality and the application part of it, right? So just to re-emphasize on this scenario, if we have to look at this image and illustration here, it gives you an understanding of how fueling in your employees with right training can be the solution, right? So don't you think so that whenever we hire people who are high on interest and highly motivated, but may not be really, skilled, but just like this example that we see here, the bike, the person has really good passion to use the bike, to explore, to, ride the bike, right? But the fuel is running low, right? So in terms of performance management, right, when we know that an employee is truly passionate, has the intent and right motivation, and if we just fuel them with the right training tool or right training aspect, right, don't you think the performance will actually be better, right? You will have somebody who's improving in terms of their performance, right? So these are some of the scenarios that organizations see and have been battling, right? Now, what is the ideal situation? Now, you would ask me, that's all great. We've looked at problems here, which you are aware of, right? Now, how do we achieve an ideal situation? Now, what's an ideal situation that looks like? Your ideal situation, what we're all striving to achieve in an organization as an HR, is to hire somebody who is highly skilled, at the same time has high interest, high motivation to perform, right? This is the right recipe for good performance, great performance, right? So if we want somebody, if we want employees to perform really well, then this is the mix that we have to concentrate on, right? Hire people who are highly skilled and at the same time highly motivated. Now, how can we do that? There are several ways, right? So it's important. One such thing is really important is align them with your expectations. Have clarity on goals, right? What are your goals as an organization, right? And how can we actually measure these things, right? How can we evaluate candidates and how can we achieve this ideal scenario is what we will look at, right? So this could be achieved just through competency. Competency is actually the best predictor for performance and productivity, and it's proven, right? Now, to understand what competency is, what competency actually means is what we'll look at. So, a lot of people actually use loosely the term skill versus competency, right? They think skill is the same and competency is the same. But no, it's not the same. Competency does not consist just about a skill set. It consists of a lot of elements. It's more in terms of the knowledge that you carry, the skill set that you have, the ability to do a task, and your behavior, right? It's just not your skill set. Now, when I have to break it down, now what exactly is knowledge? Now, when I'm looking at hiring, how do I actually use this competency to gauge? You would ask me. So how can we do that is the knowledge what we're looking at here is what does the candidate know? Now, let's take an example. If somebody wants to become a data analyst, right? Now, what is important here for that person to understand what are the essential paths that he has to take, right? What are the subjects that he or she should master? So should they be really proficient in mathematics, statistics? So how do they acquire this knowledge? It could be through various sources. It could be through YouTube. They could actually enroll into a program for data analysis and help themselves to gain the knowledge. So first aspect is what can they do to acquire this knowledge, right? Now comes the essential part is the skill set. Now, a lot of people have the knowledge, but do they have the skill to do the task, right? Now, how can they develop? Like when we're looking at this example of data analyst, right? Now, this person knows that this is a particular course that he or she has to enroll for. But now skill really talks about what can you do. Do you know what programming languages are required, like Python, R language, Java? Have you learned coding? Do you know to code? So skill really answers this question of what can you do with your knowledge? Can you actually code, right? So if they code, then they're skilled, right? But the ability is the key aspect here. A lot of people, when they come to interviews, they would be like, I have worked on this task, and they would talk about the projects and tell you in terms of how skilled they are in Python language, right? They know to code. But the question is, when given a situation, can they solve the problem? That's what ability is all about. So it essentially answers the question of how. How do you apply your skill set, your knowledge that you've acquired, right? So when an organization is going through some potential issues or some problems, how can they use their knowledge and actually code and solve the issue as a data analyst? That really covers the question of their ability. Now, these three key aspects, knowledge, skill, and ability, can be gauged through your interviews or resume screening, right? But the key aspect here is, what about behavior? What role does behavior play in work performance, in hiring, in training? And how can we relate to this? You would say to me that what is important for an employee to perform is they should be good at the task, right? They should be able to code very well and complete the task. But is that all that is required to do well in a job role? No, right? The most important aspect is behavior, your intent when you're doing a particular task. Why do you do certain tasks? That is really important, right? What kind of motivation you have? Imagine you hire somebody who's completely knowledge, has skills, ability, and they're very good, but they have a lot of behavioral issues. They don't finish the task within the time frame. They are working with certain clients, but they don't have good behavior and they don't maintain good relationship with these clients, right? All these aspects completely directly impact the overall performance. Don't you all agree that this is a key factor? So even an American psychologist actually identified that the role behavior plays in job performance. That's when he came up with this model called iceberg model of competency. So Mr. David McClelland understood the need to study competencies and why they are important. Now, I would like to ask you all, anybody here who knows what iceberg model of competency is? Have you seen this iceberg? Yeah, some of you have. Yes, that's great. So just to break down why this iceberg model was formed and what's the theory behind it, this model completely emphasizes on the iceberg. Just like an iceberg, the above tip, right, which is above the water level, is the visible part. Now, what do we as recruiters or human resource professionals do is we tend to spend most of our time, right, on the aspects like that, how do they perform a certain task, the knowledge that they carry, the skill set that they have, right, which are very visible aspects. This is actually contributing only 20%. But what are we doing? We are focusing on this 80% of our time. All that we are focusing on is we're looking at, do they have relevant work experience? Are they able to, work on this particular model in terms of, are they able to code? Can they perform this task? But we really ignore this hidden aspect, right? And most of us are not even aware of the importance of this hidden aspect, the unconscious aspects of human behavior, which is very core to our nature. That's your interest, your personality preferences, your motives, your values, what kind of values you carry as an individual, right? And this is actually which is contributing to better performance. This actually contributes to the 80% of the performance. But what we do is we tend to ignore this. We spend very little time in evaluating these aspects, right? Do you all agree? Right? We tend to focus so much in terms of if there is a technical match in terms of the job role versus the JD, and we just have to, close the position within that period. So our focus is more in terms of, can they do this task, right? That's the essential question that we need to address, right? So if we are able to re-strategize here and just flip this iceberg and start focusing on the essential aspect, that's the hidden aspect of human behavior, that's the underlying interest, our preferences, our traits, along with the skill set that you carry, right? This will completely change the trajectory of how you're hiring, how you're developing your talent, what kind of succession planning you're undertaking, right? All of your strategies can actually come into place here. So that's the difference between an traditional HR versus an and modern HR who's more strategic in nature, right? So don't you all agree that it's time that we move from traditional practices and start focusing on the hidden aspects? Because we're not here to just hire talent, we're here to even develop them, right? And upskill them for a better performance. Yes. So now let's look at how we can, make use of the competencies that we looked at. How can we actually practically implement this in terms of a checklist? Now, let's say if you're hiring for a role like an L&D, for a lead software developer, right? So if you're hiring for a lead software developer role, now, how can we actually make a combination of focusing on the knowledge, the skill set, and also the behavior? Now, let's say when you're looking at this role, most of the development role that are tech roles, our focus is more in terms of the technical knowledge that they carry, the industry updates that they have, right? How relevant practices are they following? Are they updated in terms of the softwares and the research that is going on, right? Are they thorough, and do they apply right methods, and do they come with that particular product knowledge, right? So those are the essential knowledge checks that we do as a recruiter or as a hiring manager, right? It could be very specific to your technical rounds. Now, skill is also covered. Some percentage of your skill is also covered in the interview, right? We do assess their skill aspect. That is, do they have a logical mindset? How effectively they can make decisions? Now, are they a critical thinker? All of this, some percentage of it is covered. But the most essential aspect here sometimes is missed out is the behavior. So when we're looking at this role, who's a lead here, right? Now, for a lead role, we want the person to be somebody who has a leadership mindset, right? And is resilient. At the same time, is able to have a strategic vision, right? And the question here really lies is, how do we quantify these elements? Knowledge and skill can be tested, right? But what about behavior? Can we actually quantify behavior? Can behavior be tested, right? That's the essential question, right? Now, whenever we are trying to measure something, right? If you have to measure weight, you go up to a weighing scale, right? To check your weight. When you have to measure temperature, you will use a thermometer. Now, what if I tell you that even behavior can be quantified? It can be quantified. And how can we actually measure behavior and personality? That is through psychometric assessments and analysis. So this is your go-to, strategy to implement psychometric assessments in your hiring process, where you not only focus on evaluating your candidates and employees on the skill aspect, but also focusing on the hidden aspects, just like we spoke about the iceberg, right? It's really interesting here actually to understand that there are a lot of theories which are proven and which are very relevant, and a lot of industry experts are actually implementing this in their organization to check their candidates and employees' cultural fit, implement dark triad personality theory, which actually unravels very important key aspects of behavior. So sectors like especially banking sectors really need to evaluate their candidates very well, because it's a very risky job that they're undertaking, right? There's a lot of finance involved. There are chances of fraud happening. So now how do we know what kind of employees you're hiring? How do we gauge their negative traits? As human beings, there are some negatives and positives, right? So this dark triad personality test actually gives you insight in terms of an employee's areas of improvement, like behaviors that need to be improved, which could be like red flags that we tend to ignore, because that's really important when given the nature of a job. If it's related to something security issue or finance, we need people who value integrity and who work accountably, right? So all these parameters are really important. So your psychometric assessment actually gauges and gives you exact report in terms of what are their dark traits, what are the red flags that you should watch out for when you're hiring, what kind of EQ the person possesses. EQ again is very important when you're talking in terms of customer centric roles. If we hire somebody who is not able to manage their emotions, right? And here they're facing the clients and customers, right? So it's important that they have good emotional stability. They're really motivated, are an empathetic person, right, with your customers. So how do you gauge that? Your EQ scores will give you a clear insight in terms of their abilities, how they can manage their emotions, what kind of relationships they maintain with people, right? So that's what psychometric analysis is assessing here. It's looking at not just the personality of your candidate, but also gauging your candidate on deeper levels. It could be dark traits, it could be their motives, their behavioral tendencies, and also the fitment of the employee in your culture. It could be your organization could be very fast paced, right? But the person really enjoys being an individual contributor. Now, all of these parameters, a lot of people are already using and assessing their candidates on to get the right culture fitment here. So that was a little bit information about what psychometric analysis is all about and how you can leverage psychometric assessment to actually up the game here when you're hiring and when you're developing your talent, right? So on this note, considering all of these problems that we've looked at today, how do we actually implement is the question, right? Now, how can I learn and become proficient in applying these strategies in my organization or while I'm consulting? The answer is our program, CPCA program, has been crafted to help you equip the skills to become a competency analyst, and also at the same time learn to map certain competencies to relevant psychometric assessments, right? You will be able to map competencies to relevant psychometric assessments. And not just that, you will also be able to get access to corporate hiring and development assessments, which will help you to apply all of this that you have learned in the program in your organization or for your clients. So that's what this program looks like. Now, I would like to just take you through the takeaways, right? Now, what are the takeaways and why you should sign up for this program is key factors that you will be looking at here. That the program is spread across 1 month, right? There are 5 days of live training sessions that will be 4 days. Will look at exploring 25 plus training modules. So here we're literally looking at understanding the frameworks of competencies and exploring competencies and actually mapping them to various functional roles. And at the same time, understanding psychometric assessments, because there are plethora of assessments, right? So we need to actually study and understand which assessment to use. That is what we will be covering. And it will be really engaging, where you will explore and research and also engage in a lot of knowledge sharing sessions, where you will real-time work on worksheets and try to implement in your organization. How can you practically use these techniques in your organization? We will explore things like multi-dimensional analysis and how can you generate reports and interpret these reports, which will help you to strategize hiring techniques and performance management. The first 4 days, we're looking at covering these key areas. This is more in terms of making you efficient in terms of the theory and the application aspect. How can you strategize, right? Now, the fifth day is where the technology comes into picture. Here, our co-founder, Mr. Ankit Agarwal, will take you through the technology platform. He'll train you in terms of how you can leverage the platform to implement these corporate assessments and how you can also use AI prompts. It could be related to hiring or L&D, needs, and how you can leverage AI to actually streamline your process. So apart from this, you will also be given your own corporate assessment platform which you can set up and start your consulting work as well. So now, what about your qualifications and what about the examination bit? Here we're looking at 3 weeks of capstone project. So you will be given a real-time task here to implement capstone project, where you will be given case study and you will have to submit the capstone project, which contributes to your final score, followed by an exam, right? So all of this is what we're looking at in the 5 days live training sessions. The rest of the few weeks, we're looking at you completing the assignment, the capstone assignment, and then conducting some practice assessments to be able to take the exam. So once this is through, you will then be a certified professional competency analyst, which is actually accredited by ACCPH UK and BCPA India. So this is a certified program which is accredited by these governing bodies. So you will be awarded with this certification on completion, which requires you to complete the capstone project and the exam. So that was all about the CPCA program that we are offering. So we will, if you have any questions regarding to the program, you can make a note of this. We'll have at the end of the session a Q&A. I'll be here to answer those questions. The next session will be by Mr. Ankit, and over to Mr. Azim. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jayalakshmi. It was wonderful. You have covered a lot of insights about competency and the framework of the complete competency and how it can be used. Now, let us understand from the practical aspect how it can be implemented and how it can be implemented from the corporate viewpoint. So I would like to invite our key speaker, Mr. Ankit Agarwal. So Mr. Ankit is a co-founder and project director of Milestones, and he will unveil the technology behind the professional competencies, professional psychometric assessments, execution framework. So he's the man behind it. And he's also awarded as a top transformation leaders to watch in 2023, featured in Outlook, Business Standard, and AI. So I proudly welcome Mr. Ankit. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Azim. Thank you, Jayalakshmi. So all are excited? Everyone? Great. So good to connect to all of you. So well, in this session, I'm going to cover how this technology can really help counselors, consultants, HR consultants to implement competencies within the organization, right? So this is a very unique product that we have designed, okay? And I'll show you the entire demo, what are the different functionalities are available, what are the different customizations are possible in this platform, and how you can leverage this technology to really implement either at the HR level or at the learning and development level or at the performance management side. So this platform is not limited only for hiring. This platform will help you to manage the complete corporate cycle, whether it is starting from the pre-hiring and then post-hiring or the performance management. So this single platform will cover each and everything. Okay. So let me share my screen and show you the entire platform. Azim, am I audible?
Yes, Ankit, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Once my screen is visible, let me know.
Yes, Ankit, your screen is visible.
Super. So like our CCA program here also, you all will be receiving your own dedicated web page, right? So there will be dedicated web page will be designed. Here, look and feel is entirely changed. And if you want any modification, that is possible over here. Those who already have taken our CCA platform or CCCA platform, this entire platform is a different platform, but can be integrated with your existing platform, because that's more on the B2C focus, and this entire platform is designed for the B2B. Okay. So first thing is you'll be having your own co-branded web page where throughout the platform, it will display your logos, your email IDs, your contact number, and look and feel, and the content of this web page can be changed from your CRM panel where you can change the videos and all these things. Okay. Now, when I scroll down this web page, so how we have done this entire platform is there are two things. One, we have handmade some popular assessments in the platform that's integrated in your platform. Say for example, project management. So we are having various assessments like project management that bundles multiple assessments. We are having sales profiler for the team lead. We are having sales profiler for the individual contributor kind of assessments. We are having assessment for the digital marketer, marketing communications, customer service. We are having two assessment, one for the voice process and second is for the non-voice process. We are having human resources profiler for the investment banking. We are having assessment for the entrepreneurship to check the entrepreneurship. We are having different type of leadership profiler to check the leadership. We are having DISC assessment. We are having various type of coding based assessment. So if you're hiring for the IT related profiles and you want to check the technical skills like Java, Node.js, React.js, Python, that can be done. Many other assessments. Then we are having managerial profile. If you're planning to hire for the manager profile, that assessments. Then moving down, we are having assessment for the operations profile. So these are some of the bundled assessment products that we have created for you. But if you are having the requirement to create your own assessments, then we are having a very large assessment library that you can find it over here, test library. Now, once you click on the test library, you can see all our assessments that's available for the corporates. So here you can see assessments are categorized in multiple categories. It can be the aptitude. So under aptitude, we are having numerical, multiple versions. It can be the basic, it can be intermediate, same logical basic, intermediate, verbal basic, intermediate level. Then we are also having comprehension where candidate can literally write and our AI can check it off. So we are having a verbal comprehension based assessment, special ability based assessment under the aptitude. Under personality, we are having large assessments that's like 16 PF, DISC, then different type of DISC, interest profiler, Carl Jung, Big Five. Again, Big Five multiple versions where there's a rating scale, situational based assessments. We are having dark frieds, Big Five dual spectrum, so multiple assessments under personality. Leadership, we are having multiple assessment. For data analysis, we are having the assessment. For CRM related profiles, we are having Salesforce and HubSpot based assessments. Values and culture fit, we are having multiple assessment. Work stress, organization values and culture fit assessments. Workplace motivation assessment. We are also having email writing assessment. If organizations want to check for various roles, how good email drafting you can do it off for customer support, for sales, for project manager, for the HR. So we are having business email writing assessments. Then we are having various domain specific assessment that includes your sales profiler, investment banking, digital marketer, marketing communications, and multiple others. Then coming on the conflict management, we are having wonderful assessment to check the conflict management skills. We are having emotional quotient assessments. We are having multiple SJTs. So when I'm talking about the SJTs, this is like next generation assessment where based on the profile, we give different situations to the candidate to gauge how candidate is responding on these situations. to check the administrative skills, to check the supervisor skills, management skills, graduate skills, customer service skills, sales skills, planning and organizing, leadership, customer focus, result orientation, entrepreneurship, adaptability, right? Initiative taking skills, communication skills, critical thinking, decision making, problem solving, innovative skills. So plenty of assessments are there. So currently we are having more than 60 assessments. So you have two options. One, in the platform, either you can select the ready-made assessments that's integrated with your platform, or you can, from a test library, you can pick multiple assessments and you can bundle it and can make your own assessments also from the library. So if you're having 60 assessments, you can combine any permutation and combinations, okay, and you can create your own assessments also, and popular assessments we have already bundled for you. So in this way, you will receive this web page, okay, where the test library, all our assessments are linked over here, right? Now let's come on the CRM part. So apart from the web page, you'll be having your own CRM. As I mentioned to you, you'll be having so many ready-made assessments available and integrated with your platform. But if for an organization, you want to create your own assessment, there is an option given in the platform upside, create assessment, where you can bundle your own assessments and create your own unlimited assessment. Number of assessments you want to create, there is no limitations for you. You can create as many assessments are possible. Like I'm just creating one assessment for you. I'll just click on the create assessment tab. Okay, it will ask the assessment name. Say for example, I want to hire for the Infosys, say business development. I'll just write here business development. Okay, job role is business development. This is just an example. You can create any number of tests. You can select the category. If category is not there, you can select others. No problem. That's just for the idea. Press next. Now, once you press next, then you can see the entire test library over here. So we are having a different types of the test, like 60 plus tests we are having. Now here system has recommended certain tests automatically based on the AI that you should select. So from here you can bundle it. Say for example, for this profile, I want interest profiler selected. Okay, you can just press plus. Now once you press plus on the interest profiler, you can see all the competencies. Now in interest profiler for sales profile, what are the competencies you are looking at? You can handpick the competencies also over here. I'm more looking at the business. I'm more looking at team management. I'm more looking at the persuasiveness. So you can select from the various competencies. You can select the list of the competencies also over here, right? So under interest, these are the 6 competencies I have selected. I'm also interested for business email writing check. So I'll select this also under this assessment. So there are 2 assessments are selected under Infosys, interest profiler and business emailer. One more I want to select, there's the situation judgment. So once I click on the situation judgment, that's selected. So I want to select one more. So from the list, you can select, say for example, I also want to check the logical ability. So I'll just click plus, okay, and competencies. So here what I have done it, I have bundled. So if I'm having 60 plus assessment and 200 plus competencies, I have designed my own assessment for Infosys sales, where I have handpicked certain psychometric assessment, certain aptitude assessment, and certain competencies and bundled it under one assessment. So in this way, I have created my own assessment from a library, right? So I have selected the assessments also. So here you can see for this profile, I have selected interest profiler, business email, sales skills, logical ability. If you want to select more, you can select more also from here. Say I also want to check, say for example, big 5, right? So I'll select the big 5 also. Here it will show the competencies. So I want to really check in this candidate how good he is in cross-culture fit, teamwork, okay? And certain competencies I have selected from here, right? So now I have bundled and created my own assessment that includes interest profiler, business email, sales, logical, and big 5. That's it. Now I'll press next. Okay. In next, we have given the question, we have given the option where if you want to add on certain customized questions, say once our assessment is over, you want to include your own questions like how many years of experience you are having, or can you give more details? So you can include your custom questions also over here. There are multiple options are given. Either you can create your custom questions under radio type, multiple check, essay, video, voice, or multiple ways. Or we also have given some ready-made questions over here, like what interests you about this profile, what relevant experience you have. You can just add from our library also custom questions over here. That's it. So these are the two custom questions I want to add in this assessment. So how basically this work is, so for this particular opening or for this particular corporate, I have tailor-made the entire assessment where I have selected certain psychometric, certain aptitude, certain my custom questions, and that's it. And next. Okay. These are the competencies I want to do next. And I'll just write over here the name. I can create as many as landing pages possible over here. There's no limitation. Say, for example, I want to create one page for the Infosys. Simple. Infosys, particular this profile. Simple. I'll just write Infosys business development. That's it. If some description I want to write, some video I can do, I can change the look and feel. Here there are two options, public and private. Public means any person from the Infosys to whomsoever you are sharing this list can do the assessment. Private is you can create the password. Those who are having this password can only start the assessment. So you can create your own and you can just copy and publish. That's it. So you have created your own assessment over here, and once you just go and type this URL, it will open the assessment. So in this way, you can create as many as assessments possible, and you can publish all the pages over here, and you can access all the pages from here. So in this way, we have given the flexibility. You can create as many as possible. You can create the assessments like I have just created. Just allow me 1 minute. Yeah, like Infosys business development. So either you can create your own assessments, or whatever we have pre-built assessment, you can select from there. Both the options are available over here. After that, you can see over here, say for example, sales profiler, how many users have done the assessment. So once you click on the users, there are 2 users who have done the assessment. You can see over here how much percentage they have completed. And once you click, you can access their report, right? There's one more option. If you are operating in the HR environment or learning and development environment, and you want to tag certain status, you can create your own drop down over here. So don't look at why these options are coming. If you want to customize it and want to have your own options in the drop down, you can do within the CRM, like first interview schedule, sent to line manager, selected, rejected, rescheduled. You can select over here as well. And once you click on the analytics, you can see how many students or how many candidates are at the first level interviews, second level interviews, selected, rejected, training need to be rescheduled. All these things you can see over here. So in this way, you can create the assessments, you can manage the assessment, you can see the analytics over here. And not only this, you can generate the report over here that will be available only to you, or if you want to give the access, but not to the candidate, right? So I'll show you one of the sample report, how the sample report looks like. So this is one of the sample report. It looks like this, where obviously your logos will come, your branding will come in the report. So when I scroll down the report, first it will show my overall competencies. Say for example, for this particular profile, I'm looking at 8 to 10 traits. How many percentage of the traits are matching to this profile, right? And what is the average in my company for that? So that will show over here, right? When I scroll down below, whatever competencies I have selected for this profile, it will show the analysis. Ki how much strategical planning I'm having, 56%, public speaking. So this will show out of my selected competencies, how much competencies match is there. So before coming to the detailed report on this page, it will show the entire summary, how much my competencies match is there, like action oriented, visual thinking. So for every profile, I can tailor-made the competencies and it will show the analysis over here, my competency summaries. After that, whatever customized questions I have asked to the candidate, I can see their response and their ratings, how much it is matching. So customized question summary will come. Once this is over, after that, the report will start where it will show the personality analysis. Okay. If I have selected any competencies like assertiveness, so assertiveness is matching 66% and the complete detailed analysis will come of that assertiveness. Same way, how good I am for the strategical planning. So that will come and the complete analysis will come of that part. So then will come competency by competency. It will show the entire analysis. Positive means matching. Round means is the average 50% matching and minus means it's not matching, right? So it will show the complete detailed analysis of my competencies, what type of leader I am having and all these things, right? So it will show each and everything. Now here we also have given the option where if you want to conduct some video rounds or you want to, you want candidate to upload the video, voice recordings, video recordings, certain things, everything will be available in this report and that learning and development or HR consultant can access from here. Like this is the 2 minutes recording that candidate has submitted that you can watch over here and then you can just click and the rate how much match is there. Not only this thing, when candidate is doing the assessment, all candidate activities are recorded and it's included in a form of log in report. So for an example, when we are taking the aptitude test or when the candidate is doing the assessment, if candidate is going out of the window and starts searching some other website, trying to find out the answers or try to take the help, every single thing will be captured in the report. So when you start the assessment, your complete screen, right, based on the AI will be under surveillance, where if you are doing any activities like you are going to ChatGPT, you are going to Google, you are going some other website, every single thing will be captured and it will be shown to the counselor or the coach. Like this candidate went out for how many seconds or how many minutes he went out, and all these activities will be shown over here, right? So complete assessment log will be available over here. If candidate is performing any aptitude based test or candidate is doing any communication based test, questions will be different for every candidate. We have created a very big library. So 2 candidates will not be the same questions. In fact, if questions are coming same also 1 or 2, that will come in the jumble format. So throughout the assessment questions will not be in the same order or neither the same questions will come. So every candidate will be tested on different questions and screen will be completely monitored when candidate is doing the assessment. Certain psychometric assessments are non-timer based, but aptitude assessments will be timer based. Okay, this is one input. Second input, that's the most important input in this entire platform. We have integrated our own AI, artificial intelligence. How? I'll give you the example. Say for example, you want to check the writing skills of the candidate and you are giving some assignment from our library only. There are a lot many writing based assessments are there. Once the students submit, there is an AI. AI will analyze the entire response of the candidate and produce the entire result. What are the areas this candidate is good and what are the areas this candidate is lacking? Everything. Apart from that, there are certain assessments we have that's 100% AI based, where we give certain situations to the candidate. Like if you are working in an organization and this type of problem comes across to you, how you will respond. And candidate need to literally write that answer, and backend we are having the AI. That AI will check the response of this candidate and give the complete analysis in the report with the scoring. So here actual AI is used in this platform where we are having 3 components or we are having the 3 filters, where first filter will be the psychometric filter, second filter will be our aptitude filter, third filter will be a customized questions filter, and fourth filter will be the AI-based filter, where there won't be any objective-based question. There will be the subjective-based question. Candidate will give the responses, or AI will evaluate and give the entire summary or the analysis of that candidate response. So we have trained in last 1 year our AI that's giving fantastic results that certain objective based questions cannot give, because candidate can easily identify the right answer, right? So that also is incorporated as a part of the platform. Say for example, email writing. Now when a student is drafting an email, our AI can check how good email candidate has drafted for this particular situation. So that's again based on the AI. So this is the first thing that I have shown to you. Either you can select the assessments or you can create your own assessment. So that's one complete solution that we have. Second solution we have in this platform is where you can create your own process flow, where if you want to categorize the student based on the process, you can sketch your own process, like first interview, second interview done, third interview done, rejected, selected, and you can tag candidate for that particular stage, so that you will not be required a different CRM to manage the profiles under which level this profile is falling. You can manage in the same CRM. So complete profile management is integrated in the platform, right? Now moving to the third very big solution, there's a resume screening, right? Now this is an optional module that's available and integrated in the platform. Now understand how the typical HR process work, right? So whenever we are having any opening, what we do, we source many resumes, right? This is a typical exercise we all do. We source the resumes. Then there is a one manager who sits and who analyze each and every resume, and after that, either it's a scheduled interview or rejected. So it means there's a lot of manual interventions are there to screen these resumes. Now what we have done, we have created 100% AI-based resume screener tool. So what you need to do is, whichever profile you want to screen the resumes based on the AI, you can click over here, right? Just 1 second. I have done one. I'll show you in that one. Okay. You just need to type only one time for that profile, for which opening you want our AI to screen the resumes, that job title. You need to write certain keywords that you are looking at in this particular candidate, like account management, SaaS, CRM, sales, time management, certain keywords. You write certain skill set that you are expecting in this particular candidate. You write the experience, number of years of experience you are expecting in this candidate. You write the qualifications you are expecting for this profile. This is only one-time activity for per profile. You just need to write job title, keyword, skill, experience, and qualification. That's it. Just press the next step. Now here comes your magical AI window, where in one go you take multiple resumes and just upload it. Just drag it, the entire folder, and dump it over here. At one time, you can scan 50 plus resumes. Take 50 resumes lot and just dump it over here and go for a T. That's it. Scanning every resume and giving the outcome, it will take 1 second time, only 1 second. So if you have uploaded the 50 resumes, it will take 1 second time. It will take only 50 seconds. So before your T is over, it will give you the entire outcome. So once I click on the resumes, it will give you the entire outcome. AI will give the entire outcome based on your JD. How much profile match is there? 73%, 47%. You don't need to write every candidate email ID, phone number, name, everything. AI will pull out from the resume and will show over here what's the candidate name, email ID, phone number, everything candidate will be pulled out from the resumes. After that, system will automatically analyze the resume and say how many years experience this candidate is having and what's the average stability. If this candidate has done the 4 jobs, as an average, how many years he has spent to every company. So number of years of experience and average stability will be calculated in the real time. System will check the complete thing, how much resume match is there with your job description. Not only this, AI will write their own analysis. AI will write the positive match. This person is having good leadership management, sales strategy development, good revenue growth and target achievement. He has done presentation, communication, territory management. Lack is lack of experience in the SaaS, limited mention of CRM experience, limited mention of account management, lack of specific sales tool, limited focus on time management. So basically, whatever JD you have mentioned, AI will write own analysis also. So if AI is giving 70% score, AI will write also automatically why he is giving, what the component that's matching and what are the components not matching. As simple. Just upload your 50 resumes in one go. In 50 seconds, your work is done. After that, if you want to export the entire shortlisted resume along with the resume, just press a single button, export. System will create a folder where the complete analysis in Excel with name, email, phone, location, positives, negatives, overall match, along with the resumes will be exported in real time. As simple as that. After that, if selected candidates you want to schedule the interviews, you can do, right? So there's a magical resume shortlisting option is available integrated with the platform. If you want to filter based on the experience, overall score, average stability, plenty of filters are there that you can do within the platform. So 3 modules I have told you. One, completely psychometric assessment. So we have more than 60 plus assessments, corporate assessment that designed for learning and development, hiring, performance management, right? We are having complete profile management. We are having complete resume screening management. Not only this, if you're having multiple corporates and every corporate you want to give a separate platform so that they can access their cases, for that we are having these sub CRMs where you can create for the corporates different landing pages or different sub CRMs, so that if you are in a business of multiple corporates management, multiple trainings to the corporate, you can do from here, right? Simple. You can create. If you want to create a full-fledged separate platform for the partners, obviously we are having the partners creation also, where the full corporate onboarding also you can do from your platform. There is a subscription. Now, in this subscription, you can find there are 2 limits, right? One is the report activation limit, where there is no concept of the access code. Once you activate one report, your hiring report, one limit will be minus, right? So there's 2 limits are there. One limit is related with your hiring or learning and development, and second limit is for the resumes. If you want to scan the resumes, that's a separate limit is there. So one, resume screening limit, and second is the assessment limit is there, right? All these things, like this entire platform, full functional platform will be given to you with your brandings, right? Where you can execute any number of assessments, you can create any number of profiles, you can do it of any number of reports you can generate, right? All these things are bundled in the platform. If you are having any questions at the time of Q&A, I'll be willing to take your questions if you have any question that's unanswered. I think this is what I have briefed you. There's so many other functionalities are also there. If, say for example, you want to send the invite, say for example, you want to give the invite to 50 candidates, right? There are 2 ways. One way is that you will share the link. Otherwise, there's an option over here that is called the send invite. You will just click on the send invite. Okay, automatically AI will draft your email with the assessment link. Okay, just write all the applicant's name over here and send an email. From your email ID, mail will be sent to all the participants who are supposed to do this assessment, right? So you can send the email from the platform itself. It will not go as a CC, even though it's mentioned 2. So if you have mentioned 50 or 100 or 1000, it will go one by one. It means they can see only their email IDs. They cannot see other candidate email ID, right? So in this way, you can send the bulk emailers or assessment request also from the platform, right? As I mentioned to you, you can change the look and feel of every platform. This is like web page you have designed for one company, for one particular profile. You can create unlimited pages for different corporates, for different profiles you can create. All these are available in the platform. So more questions I will take at a time of Q&A. So this is something I wanted to brief you in the platform. This entire thing comes with a training, with the platform, unlimited landing pages you can create over here for different profiles. All these things are the bundled thing. Over to Azim. Azim, you are not audible. Just check once. No, Azim, you are not audible. No, Azim. Just allow a couple of seconds. Azim is checking his voice.
Hi, Ankit, is it audible? Could you please confirm in the chat if my voice is audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Ankit, for giving wonderful insights to all of us and showing how the competency can be mapped and how to create the assessments, and also how to create competencies and map the competencies as well. So it's a fully AI based, which is integrated in the platform for the efficient use. So now let us understand what are the deliverables that we'll be providing it to you in this program. So you will have a live training session that will be there with a batch of 10 professionals in a batch. It's a 1 month training that we are going to provide to you. You will also be getting the training on competencies and assessments through 25 plus modules. You will, as Jayalakshmi highlighted, you will have a capstone project and practice test with hand holdings for better understanding. You will also get the lifetime valid dually accredited certification from BCPA and ACCPH UK. Not only that, you will have the lifetime access to the training materials. You will have lifetime exclusive access to the knowledge series webinars that we'll be conducting. We will also provide lifetime access to the training recordings. You will have 3 real clients hand holdings so that you know how the process can be set for these clients and how the competencies can be mapped and assessments can be configured. You will also get the HR Miles technology partner platform setup that is co-branded, that we'll be providing it to you. You will get the lifetime access to 60 plus psychometric professional corporate assessments. You will also get the access to 150 plus competency selection. You can create, as Ankit highlighted, you can create unlimited assessments, links, or pages. You will also get the lifetime dashboard for the channel partners. You will get the lifetime dedicated operational and technical support from us. You will also get the dedicated your own branded web page with assessments library, which Ankit just showed you now. You will also get the complimentary 20 comprehensive corporate reports that you can use, which Ankit has showed a sample report just now explaining all the assessments which will be shown in the along with the logs and all. You will also have 20 AI based resume screening profiles that can be integrated to your platform and that can be used. You will also get access to the complimentary 5 sub CRMs as well. So all these things we are going to provide it to you so that you can deliver in your own organization and you can provide these assessments to the corporates for the effective use. Next slide, please. So your journey is definitely long, and definitely the support must also be long lasting. So we provide you a lifetime support. So there'll be a implementation and consultancy support from Edu Milestones. You will also have the technical and operation support that will be provided to you. So there'll be no renewals or subscription charges. And also knowledge quarterly series sessions will be conducted for your continuously upgradation. So that's why our partners choose Edu Milestones, and they have rated us highest on Google. That is 4.9 with more than 500 plus Google reviews.